share with you. You know, it's amazing to me how people that should be happy actually resent me for standing up telling the truth. But anyway, you know, I was looking at, now here he got Dr. Fauci back there in the background. And he's standing up there acting like he's a virologist or something, telling the people what's what, because he didn't want Dr. Fauci up there to tell the people the truth. You remember they said he just won't shut up. You remember that? So,
few people right now in this whole very vast country. So I think we'll be in very good shape. We've done a great job. Everything is under control. Everything's really under control.
Things are going very well, as you see. We've done a good job by doing it and combating it so early.
It's going to all work out. Everybody has to be calm. It's all going to work out.
did he look calm when he was saying that? Or did he look like he's sitting there lying like a child and got caught doing something he had no business? And then sitting there with a strange look on his face, trying to convince you and himself that what he's saying is true. Huh? I mean, look at his face. Just go, take a good look at his face.
Combating it so early.
It's going to all work out. Everybody has to be calm. It's all going to work out. That's going to be fine, and everybody, it's going to be fine. You have to be calm. It'll go away. I think we're in great shape. I think we're in great shape. It will end. People have to remain calm. Anybody that needs a test gets a test. They're there. They have the tests. And the tests are beautiful. We've also had some very good updates on the virus. That's working out very smoothly. The testing has gone very well. And when people need a test, they can get a test. It's gone really well. We're doing a great job with it. And it will go away. Just stay calm. It will go away. Be calm. It's really working out. And a lot of good things are going to happen. I think it'll go pretty quickly. It'll go very quickly. I think it's going to work out very well for everybody. It's going to go away. It's going to go away. We're in great shape compared to other places. We are in really good shape. It goes away. It's going away. They're really doing a great job, our professionals. The results are very, very good. Relax. We're doing great. It's something that we have tremendous control of. A lot of testing has been going on, and I don't believe anybody's been able to do what we're doing. We're going to win, and I think we're going to win faster than people think. I would put us in the category of doing very well. We're going to take care of it. We'll be bigger, stronger, better than ever before, and it won't take that long. We're going to defeat the invisible enemy. I think we're going to do it even faster than we thought. We will win. And there will be a comeback, and it'll take place very quickly. We're winning, and we will win, and I think it's going to go quickly.
Is it possible that your impulse to put a positive spin on things may be giving Americans a false sense of hope?
No, I don't think so.
Representing preparedness right now.
No, I don't think so. I feel good about it. That's all it is, just a feeling. Smart guy. I feel good about it. We're going to be celebrating a great victory in the not-too-distant future. It's going to be a victory that, in my opinion, will happen much sooner than originally expected. The hardship will end. It will end soon. Normal life will return. America will again and soon be open for business. Very soon. A lot sooner than 3 or 4 months that somebody was suggesting. A lot sooner. We are fixing it. We're fixing it quickly. We will win this war, and we'll win it much sooner than people think. We'll be back in business as a country.
And that's the buffoon that you want for president. Just a moment. Let's see here. Now the man asked him a legitimate question, and he called him smart guy. Let's see here.
Just a feeling, smart guy. I feel good about it. We're going to be celebrating a great victory.
Maybe giving Americans a false sense of hope.
No, I don't think.
Is it possible that your impulse to put a positive spin on things may be giving Americans a false sense of hope?
No, I don't think so.
Representing preparedness right now.
No, I don't think so. I feel good about it. That's all it is, just a feeling. Smart guy.
He's upset because the man pulling the cover off of it. He put a false spin on it. Now look what he privately confessed.
We are learning sobering new details about what President Trump initially knew about the coronavirus and when he knew it. According to a new book by Bob Woodward, the president knew of the dangers of the virus weeks before the first death in the U.S. Instead of warning the American people, the president decided to play the virus down. Woodward recorded two separate conversations he had with the president for the book, one from February, the other from March. Here is some of what the president told him, as obtained by CNN.
It goes through air, Bob. That's always tougher than the touch. You know, the touch, you don't have to touch things, right? But the air, you just breathe the air. That's how it's passed. And so that's a very tricky one. That's a very delicate one. It's also more deadly than your strenuous flus. This is more deadly. This is 5% versus 1% and less than 1%. So this is deadly stuff. Well, I think, Bob, really, to be honest with you,
Sure, I want you to.
I wanted to always play it down. I still like playing it down.
Yes, sir.
Because I don't want to create a panic.
Let's bring in Jacqueline Alamany now. She's a political reporter and author of the Power Up newsletter for the Wall.
Didn't want to create a panic. Well, let's see here. What did he create?
The parking lot of AT&T Stadium in Texas is enormous, but it's still not large enough to hold all of the cars coming for food ahead of Thanksgiving. People spilling onto nearby streets and gratefully driving away with 80-pound boxes of groceries.
They just care for us. They know the situation that we're going through.
The display of need playing out all over a deeply suffering nation. In San Jose, bins bursting with turkeys. In the Bronx, line.
Deeply suffering, why? Because you put a jackass in the White House. Then instead of letting the CDC lead the way, he decided to get in their way and stop them from doing what was necessary to put an end to a pandemic that is now gotten so far gone that every time you look up, it's a new strain where that virus done mutated because people would not get vaccinated. Just a bunch of petri dishes walking around here and telling the virus, come on in and make yourself stronger so you can produce another generation like ants. You get one poison that kill them, and then the queen produce another generation that's immune to the poison you had, and you start all over, you back to square one. Huh? You notice, you just can't change. I don't care what we do, we cannot change prophecy. It didn't say there shall be famines and a pestilence. It said there shall be famines and pestilences. Here it is. Let me show you something else here. I mean, I just look at some of this stuff that's going on, and these people. Let's see here. Let's see. Here's another. Just give me a minute.
San Antonio Food Bank in Texas is one of those groups. Take a look at the lines there last week. I mean, let this sink in.
Just a minute. Sometimes this thing don't get it quite right. So I had to start it over.
San Antonio Food Bank in Texas is one of those groups. Take a look at the lines there last week. I mean, let this sink in. The food bank serves 8 semi-truckloads of food to people in need every day. They say the numbers are so high, they have to ration food. Eric Cooper's with us now. He's the CEO of the San Antonio Food Bank. Eric, thank you so much for being here and for everything you do. You know, in America, the richest country in all the world, we have incredible hunger. How is this possible?
Remember I told you it don't make no difference how much money you got if you ain't got no wisdom. You know, wealth is a tool. Wealth does not manage itself. It takes wisdom to know what to do with wealth. And when you have a niggardly, narcissistic person at the head of wealth, you remember Star Trek, The Trouble with Tribbles? In a country full of wealth, people in food lines. Like them tribbles in Star Trek. They died in a storage room full of grain. I didn't hear you. Likewise. California, according to what they've been telling us, California alone is wealthier than Russia. In the world, a country with states in it as with that kind of wealth, in the world, how did in 2020, after 4 years in office, remember now, in February of 2020, he was still talking about the COVID was going to be gone in a little while. And COVID-19 was the reason why them food lines wind up happening. And by the end of 2020, in December, there had been over 400,000 people and died of COVID. While he was boasting that there wasn't but 15 cases back there in February. Simply because he would not let the CDC take charge and do what they knew how to do. Because somebody made the mistake of telling him that this was going to be one of the biggest threats during his presidency. He didn't understand what that meant. He's just that stupid. So instead of looking at COVID as a threat, like Katrina and all of that kind of thing, he's looking at, oh, if I play this down, then it'll go away until after the election and I'll be back in here. Do you understand? The man is stupid. And I'm surprised that most of you haven't. Have you paid attention to the fact that I'm standing up here calling their so-called savior stupid? And none of them say anything? I even offered to pay him. What did we offer him? Offered to pay him $5,000 an hour if he come in here and let me interview him. And you know I done interviewed people now. And you know I don't disrespect people when I interview them. As much as he loved money, even $5,000 ain't no little bit of change to even wealthy people. They do dinners $5,000, $10,000 a plate. You come in here and get him $5,000 an hour. Where you go somewhere and they pay you $5,000 an hour other than a movie star, or whatever. And I don't know how they gauge their pay. I think they pay them so much a movie. But man, these things that I'm saying, I'm trying to figure out why the people who support him and claim to be so staunch behind him, if you don't know you lying, when I said that all of you know it's a lie. Now, if that ain't true, you can come in here and show me what makes you think that the election was fraudulent and get yourself $50,000 if you got a legitimate reason for thinking that. You know what legitimate mean. What was that, Senator Monahan? He said everybody's entitled to their own opinion, but not to their own facts. Facts are not yours and they are not mine. Facts are independent of either one of us. Just like it's a fact that that is a laminate floor down there. It's a fact that that's a chair. It's a fact that that's a table. It's a fact that that's a camera that's pointed at me there. That's a fact. It's not my facts. It is a fact to anyone who can see and recognize facts. I need. And it's a fact that you know you've been lying. It don't take much to strip a lie down. Just look up. It don't take much to determine whether something is a prop or whether it's a real tree or whether it's a real building. Just look up on it and see if you see any roots, or look up behind it and whatnot and see if it's a real building, if it's got a foundation, or whether it's just a front there, stand up there propped up by some poles. It don't take long to discover it. Facts lead to truth. The absence of facts manifests a lie. Well, I guess I hurt your feelings. But anyway, this is what Donald Trump and his gang left Joe Biden to try to clean up.
Well, Shepard, I tell you, today we had a distribution that said 2,000, and we have these distributions all the time. And a woman in the line said, Eric, I juggled kids in my job. Now I have no job, no income, no savings, and no food. For Feeding America food banks around the country, all of us are seeing this unprecedented demand. And we're just working as hard as we can to balance the private donations we get with the public assistance to try to make sure people are there.
I'm sorry. No, please go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Well, COVID-19 has taken so much, right? People's jobs, they've taken their loved ones, and now we're just trying to keep it from taking Thanksgiving.
You know, Eric, we watch as schools close, and a lot of us have been wondering, those school meals are essential for so many kids, and I wonder if they're still getting the meals they need.
Well, for so many of those schools, they were able to nourish kids because they could convene them in school. Now, with distant learning, kids online, they're missing those meals. A child would miss 10 meals in a week. And if a mom has 2 or 3 kids in school, she's now feeling the impact of the cost of that food at home. And without employment, kids are going hungry. And we're hearing from schools that kids are struggling with their education because they don't have access to good nutrition.
It's just incredible. I know here in New York City, at least, the public schools provide the meals if you can come get them and that sort of thing. And I'm sure a lot of cities do that, but certainly not everywhere. And I wonder, I know you interact with a lot of people at the food bank. Are you seeing different faces, different groups of people now during the pandemic?
Well, pre-pandemic, we fed about 60,000 people a week, and now we're seeing about 120,000 people a week. And most of those are new to the food banks. They've never had to ask for help before. I think of a couple that I met at our distribution, an elderly couple that as they were driving through to pick up their groceries, the wife rolled down her window just to say thank you. And as I started to talk with them, I said, well, what do you want people to know about what's going on in your family and this hardship? And, the gentleman just bowed his head and started to get emotional. He was wearing a mask, and he just said, it's hard. It's hard. It's so hard. And I think for these families that are just trying to meet the basic need of food, it's humbling. More needs to be done.
Well, that's what happens when you elect someone that you know don't give a damn about people. It's impossible for you to care about your fellow man and disbelieve in God. That's impossible. Because if you don't believe that there's a God, then you think man evolved from apes. You think man is just a natural evolution. And you think man is in the animal family. And that's what they used to teach in school. I didn't argue with that, but I never really bought that. I mean, how can we, the one thing that all animals have in common is that they act on a program. That's why you can rule them. You study a horse long enough, and you know horses, and pretty soon you can corral them and you can put them where you want them and hem them in. Man reasons. Animals do not. That's why we call them animals. I'm the first one who explained to you. Let me look up animal here. Let me see here. Just a moment. You see, I like to give you proof of the things that I say. I don't tell you things. If a man, the scripture says that just a moment. Just give me a minute. I'm looking for something. I can't remember exactly what it was, and I don't want to go over tonight. I can't remember the exact quote. There's certain proverbs that I always thought were so nice. Well, it'll come to me later. But I wanted to share with you that we have many things that are right in front of us that we have never even gave thought to. So I'm going to show you something here. Animal. A-N-I-M-A-L. Animal. Any of numerous multicellular eukaryotic organisms of the kingdom Metazoa and Animalia that ingest food rather than manufacturing it themselves and are usually able to move about during at least part of their life cycle. Sponges, jellyfish, flatworms, mollusks, arthropods, and vertebrates are animals. An animal organism other than a human, especially a mammal, a person who behaves in a bestial or brutish manner. So they kind of hint to the fact that they know man is not an animal. Do you understand? You know why? I mean, you can't on the one hand say you believe in God and God made man in his own image after his own likeness and say man is an animal, unless you think God is an animal, which some people may worship cows and all that kind of stuff, but we don't. Do you understand? And so it says a person having a specified aptitude or set of interests, meaning he's a party animal or something like that. You understand? People use that slang on people. And it says relating to, characteristic of, or derived from an animal or animals, especially when not human, relating to the physical as distinct from the rational or spiritual nature of people. So you see the white man, now you see why he don't come in here and call himself arguing with me about animals. Do you understand? See, the term itself means, see, a horse cannot make himself content. That's one of the reasons why they need to, the animals always on watch. He have to see good at night and at day, because he a good meal for a lion or something if he don't stay watchful. You understand? But man, the only thing man have to fear is another man. He ain't scared of no animal. Do you understand? Man can make himself content. An animal is just an animated malcontent. So we say animal. Do you understand? But man is not an animated malcontent. Man can make himself content. And the way we do that is with the way of peace. by doing unto others as we have others do unto us. And in order to do that, you must put yourself in other people's place. Do you understand? Empathy. So anyway, I'm going to, I just wanted to remind you, Joe Biden already reminded you that you done forgot. You done forgot so soon that in 2020, when he took office, you was getting food, you was using food banks because most of you couldn't even hardly feed yourself. Thanks to your buddy, Donald Trump. After 4 years of Donald Trump, was you better off than you was when Barack Obama was in office? Come on in here and tell us about it. Yeah. Call yourself spiting. I knew what was going to happen the minute I heard President Obama say Donald Trump would never be president. I said, uh-oh. There you go. Just to spite him, they put Trump in there. And who did they wind up spiting? Themselves. Now all of them that used to be, some of them used to be staunch Republicans. Now they don't recognize their party. You know why? Because you laid down with dogs and the fleas ran you out of there. You know Marjorie Taylor Greene and Josh Hawley and all them people ain't fit to be sitting up there in no lawmaking body of this country. You know they ain't fit to be up there. You know what made the founding fathers draw up the Constitution like they did and made it apply to all Americans? Because they had vision. Allah gave them foresight to recognize if it didn't apply to all, what will happen if you don't uphold it is when, if people somehow overcome and become a majority among you, without the Constitution, you become the victim instead of the victimizer. And you know that's replete in the animal kingdom. The lion that took over by force and ran the old lion out, pretty soon he got old. And a young lion ran him out. I didn't hear you. As thou hast done. But if you make yourself a nation of laws, it really don't make no difference what color the person is that's in there. They held to the same standard. They can't do no more than the law allows. Do you understand? Which makes everybody safe. As long as you uphold the law. It's just like with me. I don't have to worry. My followers don't have to worry. The same word of God that they are held to, I am held to. Do you understand? You see? So I have to answer, not to them, but to the one who gave me all of this knowledge. He already showed me what he could do to me if he wanted to. And I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. To be walking around crazy, knowing that your mind ain't right, and yet you can't do nothing about it, and you know it ain't right. That's hell, boy. I got a little taste of that, and I said I wouldn't wish this on nobody. That's what Allah wanted to hear too. Then you go out there and you teach my people and you do right by them. Help as many as you can. If you can't help them, don't hurt them. And so, which of y'all I done hurt out there? What did I do to you? The only thing people can accuse me of is caring about people who didn't give a damn about me. Do you understand? I took strangers into my house. My family didn't know them no more than I did. I welcomed them around my children and everything else. And I got witnesses to that. So, you know, I ain't asked no more out of others than I was willing to do myself. So, you know, I'm Allah's representative. And those of you who reject me, I don't know if I read the meaning of reject to you, but it's here. Reject. To refuse to accept, submit to, believe, or make use of. See how you who refuse to submit to me? First must he suffer many things and be rejected of this generation? Yeah, you have rejected me. And when I asked you to come in and tell people why you rejected me, you remember when I let that boy from New York unmute his phone? He didn't have no reason for rejecting me. He's sitting up talking about Jesus. He ain't know nothing about Jesus. Jesus was here 2,000 years ago with his sorry behind. I ain't talking about Jesus. I'm talking about that fool sitting there in New York talking about he knows something about Jesus. And if he had been in the days of Jesus, you know what he'd have been saying to Jesus? Same thing he'd been in here saying to me. He'd have loved Moses then. So we gonna go on and call it a night. And if it pleases Allah, we will talk with you again tomorrow at prayer, and then again Sunday. But don't forget the shape that this country was in when President Biden took office. And look at it now in less than 2 years. Ain't no more food lines. Huh? Job rate is up. Huh? The pandemic has vaccines, and the only reason that it's still going is because people refuse to get vaccinated. But that's what the Holy Quran says this. And it's not just true for prophets, it's true for every messenger who brings you truth. All they can do is give you advice. Allah said to his messenger, and we have not sent thee as a keeper over them. Every soul comes with its own keeper. Your keeper is the mind that's in you. You can give advice to your neighbor. You can give advice to other grown people. But it's written, my advice will not profit you if I intend to give you good advice, if Allah intends to destroy you. Noah, give them warning. How long was Noah preaching and warning them while he's building the ark? Noah was building the ark while he was warning them that a flood was coming. But they made light of it. Come by making fun of him. Yeah. Till it started raining. Then it was knock, knock, open unto us. And Noah had to tell him, no, I can't. Can't open to you. No room for you in here. He told him, laugh. For we too laugh at you. I notice ain't nobody telling me what they're going to do to me. You remember that boy told me he had plans for me? We got plans for you. You remember that? I ain't forgot. The Holy Quran says, plan against me now. That's what it said. Yeah. What you planning now? Floods everywhere. And now you got, they're talking about some massive storms just left Africa. On their way, same route that you took enslaving us. Okay. And what is this people that support Donald Trump saying? If they had their way, they would do it again. Even after now, they have been informed what it was about. Huh? Yeah, they ain't sorry. No. Okay. Don't worry. Allah knows who's guilty and who is not, who deserves forgiveness and who does not. Blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy. So since nobody had no questions or no arguments, I'm going to let that do for now. And may Allah bless us and keep us safe and in our right minds, and grant to us victory over the evil within ourselves. Because once we accomplish victory over the evil within ourselves, that which is outside of us will be a cakewalk. Because it will have nothing to latch hold to that's inside of us. Remember, the devil can't come in unless you invite him. He's like a virus. You have to pick him up and bring him in. He can't come in on his own. You got to bring him in. Do you understand? And so when you don't have no desire, when the evil that's in you is purged, then you don't have any desire to bring that outside of you back in. And then, so you can walk through the valley of the shadow of death and fear no evil. Yeah. Okay. So, may Allah bless us, keep us safe and in our right minds, and grant to each of us victory over the evil of ourselves. First, and then sustain us while we walk around in the evil around us. I was looking at Babylon 5, and they quoted an African proverb that at least they claim it was an African proverb, that may God stand between you and harm in all of the empty places wherein you must walk. So I thought that was a good I told you, wisdom is where you find it. So, okay. And I can be thankful for the wisdom and thankful to the one who put it out there. So, may Allah bless us and keep us safe and in our right minds, and grant to us all a peaceful and pleasant night's rest and sleep, and a happy, peaceful, and pleasant morning's rise. May Allah